Hi guys, we're gonna do like a let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on in the world right now and how there really needs to be a change in the path that we are currently on.
A lot of what's going on right now. So basically some of the stuff I'm going to talk about is
You're loud.
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't hear very well, so I don't really notice. Some of it's like HR 127. If you don't know what that is, basically it's common sense gun control. But what that means is that let's say you own one of these. So this is it's empty. I've shown on the channel. It's from 43. Yeah, it's 1943.
We have a couple.
Lee Enfield Mark IV number ones. World War II British rifle. It was used, oh Lord, these were used for years. I think they were used up until probably Korea. I'm not exactly extremely versed on my Lee Enfield history, but take this rifle, right? It's old, bolt action. Interestingly, it's a detachable box magazine, 10 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for a bolt action rifle from 1943, I'll have to remove the bolt again. That is quite a lot of it. I mean, it's quite an amount. For a rifle today, it is not. Like a pro.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with what is going on right now, and a lot of people might disagree, is that we are headed down a path that is going to be very hard to get out of if we give up a lot more freedoms. Thank you. It's kind of hard when I'm holding it on my knee. She has to repair these things a lot for me.
I have more patience.
Its bolt is being a bit of a bum.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah. So, what am I talking about? Well, so the HR 127, I encourage everyone who watches this video, go look up what that is. Basically, this would be illegal under that. Anything, my carry gun, which is actually loaded, Makarov PM, it's a 9x18. It would be illegal, probably because it weighs over 50 ounces, unloaded. That means it's illegal. Now, why is this important? Well, I want to take you back to 1930s Germany. No, before you click off the video, stick around. Let me take you back to 1930s Germany. Hitler's in power. Oh, we can't actually say that, can we? I think his video's banned.
Oh, well.
Bad mustache guy's in power. A lot of people like him. No, they didn't. Yeah, they did, because he promised a lot of good things, and that's not a comparison to Trump. He promised...
Because Trump actually got things done.
Well, so did Bad Mustache Guy. Bad Mustache Guy got a lot of good stuff done for his country. And he did. What did he also do, though? Well, Germany lost World War I. I'm actually reading about this right now. Germany lost World War I. Now, who did they blame?
Germany.
Well, the world blamed Germany. Germany blamed the Jews. Why? Well, because the Jews were seen as an oppressor of other groups, especially ethnic Germans, who were seen in their own culture as superior. Kaylee? So Bad Mustache Guy was saying that there were people oppressing people.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have any proof?
No.
No, nobody did, but nobody liked the Jews. A lot of people still don't. I have no problem with them. So.
Cough, cough, NBC.
So, he whipped up fervor against a certain group. So that everyone was really okay when bad things happened to that group. Well, that's just a piece of history, right? It's never happened.
History doesn't repeat itself, does it?
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Kaylee.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in the Pacific during World War II? Actually, before World War II. There's a certain island known as Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Japan thought they were better than anybody else. Japan used the country's natural, I'm not extremely versed, but I do know what I'm talking about. Basically, they corrupted a ancient code of the country and they hated everybody else. And they got away with it. So we're going to get to how those intersect. So Hitler's in power, right? Or bad mustache guy. I don't care. We're not monetizing it. Who cares?
We have 2 subscribers. It's going to be a long time.
Bad mustache guy's in power. Bad mustache guy wants to do things that are going to be unpopular. Very unpopular. Get rid of the government. Unpopular. Bad mustache guy has a plan.
He starts by banning animal abuse, which looks good. But he uses that to ban hunting, so that nobody could use that as an excuse for why they needed guns.
But what about hunting? But we can keep this for self-defense, right?
No.
Well, they couldn't because he's one around. But now this is the testimony of a Holocaust. You know that thing called the Holocaust, where a lot of people died and a lot of people like to cite it on the wrong side of the government. Anyways, yeah. But the German people are told there were a lot of murderers around. So, take this. Take your hunting shotgun. Take anything. Take it down to the police station. They'll get the serial number. They'll catch the criminals that way. They will catch them, and they will. By golly, we won't have a single criminal. Well, you know what crap. Well, we got your serial numbers. We know who owns all the firearms. They're still criminals. You got to turn them in. And the German people were like, I don't want to, but the government says, well, we know who has them. Because you were dumb and brought them in.
Mm-hmm.
And they went and took them. I'm not going to say every single one, but I'm assuming a few people got to keep some. Without the government knowing. So what does this mean? Well, one thing led to another. And mind you, not everybody liked Bad Mustache Man. You will read in accounts, historical accounts, high-ranking officers within the Wehrmacht. They didn't like him. But they couldn't do anything. He was in power. One-party system. The government had all the power and the people could do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was 1930s Germany, 1940s Germany. Do you know it wasn't 1930s Germany and 1940s Germany bad? The thing you have to realize is that they did not start out like, the world, everyone knowing they were terrible people. The world saw this as, Germany, and he wasn't popular, but Bad Mustache Man got on the cover of Times Magazine. They have great choices for people for that, by the way. Great choices. It's not like they haven't done anything like that since. But nobody saw the government their government is extremely terrible. Until, they exterminated over 6 million people. But, Jeremy, you might say. Jeremy, you're an idiot. That was Germany. This is America. Okay, well, we're currently in the middle of a pandemic. Right? Middle of a pandemic. And I don't know if I have not verified if it's real or not. But apparently, I saw a thing where Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of the American neighbors to the north, Canada, wants to, if you test positive for COVID, to go to a government facility.
You know what that sounds like?
Get in the showers.
Concentration camp.
No. But it's for your own good.
Yeah, for your own good.
It's for your own good.
And if you test negative, you're supposed to quarantine at home.
But Jeremy, they would not do that. Hey, Kaylee, let's go back to what I said. Why could Bad Mustache Man get rid of all the Jews?
Because people hated him and he had complete power.
Well, people hated the Jews because apparently they were an oppressive class, right? And they wanted to get rid of them.
Yep.
Now, I may be some, lower class white boy. Didn't grow up in the hard streets of pick your, bad part of town, but there's been a lot of people very, very hateful towards my kind and your kind to a much lesser extent.
Because I'm a woman.
There's also people who've been called for my kind to gotten rid of. because I'm an oppressor. My existence oppresses people, even though I don't really talk to anyone, interact with anyone, or do anything.
Yeah.
Kind of funny how that works out, that I'm not the problem, and yet I can be made into a problem, a solvable problem. Almost like the problem I create has a final solution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but, our government's run by, white men and, other white men, and they would never do that to their own kind. I think you'd be surprised what people would do for power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me explain how this all comes together. America has the Second Amendment. Meaning, I have the right to own this and that, and according to the Second Amendment, if I so choose, could go buy a fully automatic 40mm grenade launcher.
Because the Second Amendment says it shall not be infringed.
But Kaylee...
At all. There should be no legislation about these babies.
But Kaylee, the George Washington didn't know about guns that could shoot, more than once.
There was repeating arms. There was repeating arms back in the day.
I present to you the Small Arms Visual Encyclopedia. There's a two-pronged attack that I use for this argument. I've not gotten to test it out because, well, I don't really talk to anyone.
We don't talk to people.
Oh,
people don't like us.
Hey, Kaylee, when was the Second Amendment put in?
I believe 1781.
Let me see if I... Oh, let's read about this. The James Puckle gun. Oh, let's see the feed / magazine, because all guns technically have a magazine, most of them at least. Hey, Kaylee, I think somebody added a 1 to that. 11 rounds.
Yep.
In 1718. So, almost over 60 years before... Well, I'm sure it's just a fluke, guys. Let's just keep on going. Let's just... Oh. A Lorenzini repeater. 7 rounds in 1680? Oh, 100 years. Over 100 years.
101.
Huh. Wow. I'm sure we can't really find any. A flintlock revolver. Revolver, as in revolving barrels.
Mm-hmm.
5 rounds in 1730? But what does this mean? It's just an encyclopedia. It's not like they're continuously containing knowledge. So, what does that mean? That means
they knew that we were going to have advancements.
But Jeremy...
in arms.
But Jeremy, you say, George Washington didn't know about the AR-15. You bet he didn't, but I also bet you something. If he knew the AR-15 was thing, George Washington would have crapped his overfluffed pants.
Mm-hmm. And he would have been excited.
If you show George Washington flintlock made by Smith or AR-15 made by Colt, fully automatic, 30 rounds, or even better, select fire. You're telling me George Washington would go, no, I'm going to go to war with the single shot rifle. You get 2 or 3 rounds a minute. Yeah. The point I'm making is that anybody who wants to use the argument of, well, they didn't know, they wouldn't have cared. Well, no, they would have cared, but they wouldn't have been on your side. He'd been like, but George, look upon how evil it is. It's black. And George Washington would be like, Mm-hmm. It's light, and I can just keep pulling the trigger? He would be foaming at the mouth. Everybody there would.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the Second Amendment about? It's about hunting.
No, it's about keeping your government from going tyrannical on you.
The Second Amendment is a check on the government. Now, there's other people who would say, well, the Second Amendment is so the government can have guns.
No, the Second Amendment is so the people can have guns to protect ourselves from the government.
But what?
So we're going to get into our other points with what's going on currently.
I wasn't
Because
done yet, though.
you've been going on into the history for 15 minutes.
You know what? I will let you know when I'm done.
I will let you know that I don't want an hour-long video.
I will kick you out of this apartment. But what
like
is,
you have that.
But what is my point here? My point is this, is that there's a lot of people who are sitting there saying, well, but common sense. Okay. Yeah, common sense meaning that I have to spend $800 a year to own literally a bolt gun.
Anything.
You know how fast this thing fires? It's not very high. If you're really good at it, you can fire it pretty quickly. Okay, but Jeremy, there's been a lot of people get killed with guns. Not as many as you think. And also, if you look in the statistics, I think it's like the CDC states defensively, I am victim. I would be victim. By the way, it's unloaded. It slides locked back. It cannot fire, even if I had a magazine in there. But I'm safe with my friends. But believe me. So, victim takes out bad guy. Last numbers I heard, 2 million times per year defensive uses. Assault uses was not even close.
Yeah, and then you gotta bring in there that in the numbers they include suicides as well.
Well, and the thing is though too, but here's the thing though, if we got rid of the scary boom booms, then people couldn't kill them. I got bleach underneath my sink right now that I could go drink. I got a belt I could hang from the ceiling. I got knives. I'm not saying, and that's not an admission of anything. That's not an admission saying I'm suicidal.
It's just saying there are other ways.
I legitimately could run out to the highway. That's like less than like a football field away. Mm-hmm. Ain't that hard, Chief?
Yeah.
But what about the criminals? Hey, by the way,
there's this thing called the black market.
You ever heard of a thing called a background check? When I bought this rifle, this Lee Enfield, when I bought this Makarov, I had to go through a background check. There is not a gun store. There is not a gun show. By the way, I have a Mosin Nagant sitting back in my bedroom, locked up. It's safe. Mosin Nagant. Oh, I got it at a gun show. You know what I had to do? Fill out the exact same form for this. I actually bought this privately. I privately purchased.
And this one. You had to fill out the same paperwork for this.
Yeah, it's all the same paper. I bought this from a private seller at his home, and I filled out flipping paperwork. And it's baffling to me because, Joe Schmo criminal's not going down to the Cabela's and buying an AR-15. Joe Schmo criminal is going on the black market. What's the black market? Okay, Joe, here. I scratched the serial number off for you. It's on there. I'm not going to show it to you, but it's on there. Hypothetically, I scratched the serial off for you. That'll be like $500. Mm-hmm. No paperwork, nothing. It's untraceable. Like, by untrace... Sorry, the cat's currently destroying stuff. She's been on a very destructive spree lately. But the problem is, it's like, it's almost like criminals don't follow the law. So, but okay, Jeremy, are you saying we should rebel against the government? No, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. I'm not going to give my opinion. Well, that's an admission of guilt. No, it's not. It's not giving an opinion. That's like saying, do you think that certain pop diva number 77 should be taken off the air? I'm not giving my opinion. It's no one else's business but mine. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I'm such a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment is because it's the ultimate checks and balances. Let me put it to you this way. If Bad Mustache Man had people who were armed in his country, I guarantee you he would not have gotten away with as much as he did. Now, what does this have to do with Japan? Because I told you to bring it back. Take it as you will. And a lot of it, too, is because everyone thinks I'm a racist. Well, the Japanese in World War II, and this isn't racist, by the way. Let me let you in a little secret. History is not racist. History is a statement of fact. Or a statement of conjecture. Or not conjecture, but what would be the correct term? If it's not completely known, it's a best educated guess. Mm-hmm. Right? But it is a irrefutable, well-documented fact. that the Japanese in World War II were avowed racists. Now, let me tell you what that means. Southern redneck, the, ultimate of racists, according to many people, says mean things like, I don't like those people, and I don't like the way you talk. Unironically, considering that the twang of my voice is about as pronounced as shoving an accordion down someone's throat and telling them to breathe.
Quit making fun of my accent.
Do you know what the Japanese did? I'd suggest you pick up a book and find out, because they were avowed racist against anyone who wasn't Japanese.
And they got away with more war crimes than Germany did in World War II.
They got off pretty much
Read
scot-free.
up on the Unit 731.
Yeah.
Unit 731.
Pretty sure
Read
731.
up on it.
Well, but Jeremy, you used microaggressions. They used bayonet aggressions against babies.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the R Word of Nanking. I suggest you watch it.
Or read up about it, because I'm sure that's gruesome.
Oh, it's very gruesome.
Yeah,
but
read up on it.
But Jeremy,
don't get sick.
They weren't racist. They were just not exterminating groups that didn't agree with them. Or look like them. Or believe the same thing, or come from the same... Oh shit, they were racists. Yeah, and they were the worst kind. They're willing to annihilate people. Well, but that's what you want to do with the inner city communities. I suggest you look up Margaret Sanger's opinions on the proud African American population and why she was such a big supporter of abortions. And I will tell you, it's not because she liked our inner city brethren, or I shouldn't say that. That actually does sound bad. Our more melanin infused brethren. There we go. That's better. I respectfully apologize for assuming anything. I respectfully apologize if I was offensive. I will now refer to people in the black community as our more melanin-infused brethren. I apologize.
But honestly, we are all humankind. That is my honest opinion. We're all human. That's how we should refer to each other. Honestly, even Morgan Freeman said that. We're all human. We need to stop.
He literally said, someone
black
asked
and
Morgan
white.
Freeman, how do we get rid of racism? He said,
don't talk about it.
Let's stop talking about it. But how are we gonna... No. Stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm. So the main reason why we're doing a video today is because there's a few bills going through Congress right now that are taking away our constitutional rights in the Bill of Rights. So...
What? I'm fine.
I can't remember what the HR 127.
We talked about that one a little bit. Basically HR 127 in a nutshell is this, and I suggest you go read up on it because...
And email your Congress people about it because...
Basically, HR 127 is this. Do you have $800? Do you have 24 hours to spend in a class? Do you have $200 per magazine over 10 rounds? Do you have $200 for every rifle or pistol or anything? No, you don't. That's the point. You don't have anything.
Yeah, you're broke.
Yeah.
Also, so they are wanting to include a psych evaluation and a 24-hour training every year. For this psych evaluation, you know who they're going to interview? Your exes.
Like that.
Your exes.
Wait, Kaylee, so the exes that stalked you and tried to R-word you and threatened your life? Yep. Oh, I'm sure they got great things to say about you.
Exactly.
And there's somebody in the comments be like, well, my ex and I are in very good terms. Trust me, you're not.
Not all. There are some relationships where you end on good terms.
Yes,
I will acknowledge that.
Not.
But more than likely, you have had an ex that stalked you, tried to R-word you.
So let's put it this way, right?
You're gonna have a bad ex that's gonna talk bad on you.
Let's put it this way, right? You are a very attractive young woman. You are about, what's the average height for a woman? 5'6", 5'8"?
Yeah, I'm 5'6".
So you're a 5'6" attractive woman. your last boyfriend wanted to, get to know you better on the insides. Very adult way. But you didn't want to. So he punched you in the face, started heavily abusing you, and then basically, for lack of a better term, took what he wanted from you.
Mm-hmm.
Your boyfriend is a 6'2" corn-fed motherfucker. The man could pick you up and break you.
Mm-hmm.
So you break up with him, but he won't leave you alone. So, what do? Well, you get on to your local gun store and go buy one of these. Well, not one of these specifically. You could if you wanted. Because there is no way you, a 6'4" or 6'6", not 6'6", 5'4" or 5'6" woman is going to take down a 6'2" man. Well, I know karate. Well, he knows punch you in face. Well, he knows block your weak attack and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
There was a quote, and this is an old quote. Samuel Colt, a very influential firearms designer from the 1800s, very influential in the revolver industry. There was a quote about the man, and it went, God made all men equal. Well, actually, God made all men. Samuel Colt made them equal. Why? Well, let's say that corn-fed motherfucker boy is trying to come down to your apartment and insert his pork schlong into your, cavern of secrets, shall we say. Very adult way. And you don't want this proposition because you yourself are trying to get over from the trauma that he caused you when he punched you in the face, broke your, jaw, and stalked you, and yeah. So, you can choose your weapon. You have a stapler. You have your fist.
Tiny ineffectual fist.
Or you have a 9mm that is going to put him in the dirt faster than he can say, oh shit, please don't shoot, I'm sorry. What you gonna choose? Well, you're probably gonna choose the 9mm. Or, if you're stupid, you'll choose a bolt action, but to each their own.
I mean, that's how, what's his name? The guy who used the Carcano on
God.
JFK.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald was not committing self-defense. Let's make that abundantly clear.
Mm-hmm.
The man was not all right upstairs.
Yeah.
But when HR 127 steamrolls through the country, like, well, you ate Taco Bell and
took a laxative
and drank coffee, a lot of coffee, and you're 15 miles from any toilet. Well, you're now.
It's gonna get dirty.
Yeah. Well, because there's going to be people who aren't going to comply. There are going to be people who do. For the people who are not already armed, I suggest you go out and purchase something like a Glock or an AR-15 or insert rifle or pistol here, because let me put it to you this way. You beautiful 5'6" or 5 foot whatever, I don't care how tall you are, whatever, you all have worth, are going to have a very bad time when corn-fed motherfucker tries to force his way into your apartment, which he will, which nobody will care because it's nobody else's problem. Now, choose your weapon. You have the stapler, your fist, or a kitchen knife that he's probably going to take a stab, throw you away, grab the knife, and then gut you like a fish. Not really gonna be a good time, is it? No, am I saying these are perfect? No. But I would prefer all the women of the world who are not,
And if you would like us to help you with suggesting a appropriate firearm for you, you can comment down below.
But,
and please subscribe while you're there. Please.
Not that, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. The problem is if they pass HR 127, which they probably will, most likely, almost no doubt in my mind, a lot of people are gonna get hurt. Now, I'm not gonna get in the whole debate of the American people versus the, Chinese puppet government. You should know my opinions. Again, I'm not calling for a revolution. I'm not calling for it. But I'm not going to express my opinions on it, on this service, because this service is incredibly dangerous to share opinions on. Remember, I said I'm not calling for it, but that's not my necessarily opinion on it.
Yeah.
If you're a caveman, you could probably figure it out, but this way it's plausible deniability. Anywho, but let's take all the women of the world, and actually all the men of the world too, who have been hurt by a domestic partner. You are all F-word with an ED at the end.
Yep. Because they're taking away, because if you have an ex that's going to talk bad about you, heck, with my family situation, my family would probably say that I'm a terrible person.
Correct.
So, got that against me too.
And let me put it to you this, to put it in other terms, going back to the bad mustache man, what is to stop the government from doing whatever it damn well pleases if they have no one to oppose them?
Yeah, once they take away the guns, they're gonna do whatever they.
And you know what? If you want to comment down there, well, you're an idiot. You're a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I have read enough books lived long enough. I'm 22. I've lived long enough to see where this is going. It wasn't just Germany. It was also the Soviet Union, China, Venezuela, Vietnam. Well, crap, looks like we have a few statistical things here. And let me put it in a different way. If you are... How to put this?
Cuba.
Well, Cuba, too.
Yeah, I was trying to think.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have power in the hands of the people in a form that can and is sometimes sadly abused, or give some, and thus you now have some control over your life, or would you rather give all your control over to a higher power? And I'm not talking about God, I'm talking about something a lot more corrupt. The whole point is this. Anyone who supports HR 127 is you're either an idiot or you're uninformed.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no reason that you should ever want to give a government absolute power. Every time a government has absolute power, and there's actual statistical studies,
millions have died.
Every time a government at the baseline has taken away firearms, you can look up. There was actually, I looked it up a while ago, and it was a Jewish group, and they call themselves the staunch defenders of the Second Amendment. I'll give you 3 guesses as to why Jews really support the Second Amendment. I'll put it to you this way. They've had a hard go of it. Not many people like them. Almost nobody likes them, apparently. So, and they've done a study. Every time there's been a disarmament, millions have died. Now, why do you think we'll be any different? We already have groups of people who hate each other. I don't hate basically any other different groups, right? I dislike other groups. Well, actually, there are groups who I hate vehemently, but it's not an ethnicity or race thing. And where the hell does race come from? It's the human race.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a Hispanic race. There's not a black race. There's not a white race. We all share the same DNA. Well, not completely the same. They're not in a completely incestuous.
I was going to say, we're not all identical twins.
But we all have human DNA. We're all people. It's the melanin in your skin that matters. Actually, it doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
No, it's literally the difference between a black man and a white man is the fact that the black man has more melanin, the white man has less. And if you attribute that to racism, you're a complete idiot and you should get off the internet and probably seal yourself away from the world so you do not infect it with your stupidity. I can be very blunt when I want to, and people can confuse that with being mean. No, being mean is saying you're smart when you're dumb. Being kind is saying you're an idiot, please educate yourself. And I will also say this. Every group has been enslaved. Everyone has enslaved every single group.
Mm-hmm.
We are both part Irish.
Yep.
We have had a tough go of it because we were slaves in America. Yeah, that's right. There were white slaves. I will also say this. While I am sorry that in the first part of America's founding there were slaves, I will also say that happened over 200 years ago. I hope you were never enslaved. I know for a fact you were not enslaved on a plantation.
Yep.
because the feds would have rolled in and burned it down and shot your dog. If you don't get that, the ATF shot a family's dog, and they will never, ever be able to live it down because they shot a dog. You never kill the damn dog. Anyways, I understand sex slavery exists, and I'm not referencing that, but no one alive today has been enslaved in this country. I understand that you might feel like you had a hard run, but I can promise you it is not because that 200 some years ago someone in your family was enslaved. I can assure you that is not the case. And if you've had a hard go of it, how many NFL players, how many sports players have come from nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Make something of yourself. If you have the mentality of saying that I can never be anything because my family or my people, and any of your people, everyone is successful. Every group has been very successful in their own way. But if my family has never been successful, take that, rip it out of your skull. I don't care if you have to take a screwdriver, shove steel wool covered in fiberglass in there, rip it out of your skull and say, I'm going to make something out of myself because I'm not going to be a damn loser. Yep. And I'm not calling anyone's family a loser. I'm saying it's mentality. I could literally walk up to anyone right now, any ethnicity, and say, hey, by the way, we're equal now. They would immediately they would go, what the hell, I don't know you. But if I said, hey, everyone's equal, you're going to check your bank account, and of course right now during, out of the 15 days to slow the spread, we're about at a year.
Almost.
We have no money. You're going to check your bank account and say, oh shit, we're all equal? Do I get that white privilege? Yeah. What does that entitle me to? Absolutely fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It entitles me to be hated because I have a privilege that I don't have.
Yep.
Anywho,
there's another bill that just passed in Congress that we were also wanting to talk about.
I'll pick it up later.
Okay. That I was just reading up on before we started this video.
Yes, man.
You're good. That it just passed in the House and it's going to the Senate probably next week. Not totally sure. I don't know. Quite understand how long it takes and that kind of stuff. But anyways, it is called the Equality Act, which...
But equality sounds
so
great,
means it's
really.
supposed to be a good thing, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
No, because it is overriding the Religious Liberties Act of 1993, I believe, is what I read, where, you heard of that baker that didn't want to make a cake for a gay wedding or something like that.
Yeah, it was a gay wedding, and then
he won his case in the Supreme Court.
Then they wanted to make an example out of him.
So he's been fighting lawsuits ever since. And now they're making that discrimination. If you refuse to do that, you're going to get the feds knocking on your door.
Yeah.
And being like, hey, nope, you're going to prison because you were being discriminatory.
Right.
Same thing with churches.
Yep.
So that will now be a public gathering place where anyone can gather, doesn't matter who they are.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. So whenever we were getting married, we were talking to a couple of pastors, and they're like, yeah, the way the world's heading, we're not going to be able to do weddings in churches anymore.
Correct. Now,
that's sad. We got married in a church because that's been my dream since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
Get married in a church.
Let me say this though. There are people out there who will say the following. Well, I am glad that Christians I'm glad that Christians are being finally forced to hold gay weddings. I want you to do something. I'm not disparaging anyone in this statement, but I want you to do something. I want you to go find a mosque. I want you to tell the imam, which I think roughly is like a Muslim pastor, and say, I am finally glad that you guys will be forced to do gay weddings. I can tell you what will happen. They will not be happy with you. They will probably kick you out. Here's the issue.
Because they're not going to enforce it with them. They're going to enforce it with Christians only.
Yeah, no. Because
that's just how it's been working so far.
Yes.
With all the negativity towards religion, it's all against the Christians and the Jews and like Mormons and that kind of stuff. None of it is against Muslims.
Right.
Because it's racist if you say anything against them.
But also, did you not say that it's a thing where it's like, you cannot have the opinion of that, what is it, like, that gay marriage shouldn't exist? Like, you shouldn't,
One of the things that I read about it is that if you believe in only traditional marriage, so like ours between a man and a woman, you are being discriminatory.
So, let me put it to you this way. That's a good thing, right? No, it's not. That's called being the thought police, and George Orwell wrote 1986, which I need to read. I gotta get a whole of a copy before they ban it. Let me put it to you this way. Right now, it is, Christians have to, or like anybody has to say this is okay. Let's say, now, and maybe some people are okay with this. I personally am married, and I'm not. Stop it, cat. Let's put it this way. You are at a nightclub. I didn't hurt her, I just threw a bag at her. You happen to be a straight male. And you're in a nightclub looking to have some fun with the ladies. Nothing wrong with that. Well, I'm not going to get into too much religious beliefs right now, but nothing wrong with that. Go have some fun with the ladies. Mind you, you are a straight male. You are a heterosexual male and are looking for a biological female. Suddenly, from across the room, you see a transgender. I don't know if it's a man or woman because I never understood how that worked. Let us say it's a man trying to be a woman. By man, I mean they are wearing a short skirt and their man snake is quite obviously trying to force its way out of the skin-tight underwear it's wearing. And it comes up to you. And they say, "Hey, baby, you want to get out of here?" Mind you, you're looking for something with a bit more of a, aquatic features as opposed to a boa constrictor. If you don't know aquatic features, I'm referencing the clam. If you don't know further, ask your mom. Well, you say, but I'm not into that. Well, too bad, because if you don't go out there with them, go out to your car and let them pull down your pants and show you where, in fact, the gray goose goes, you are now in violation of the law.
Yep.
And you will go to prison for it.
And it's the same thing with battered women's shelters.
Yep.
I am in full support of those existing.
I'm in support of battered men's shelters too, by the way.
Yes, I am also, because those kind of things should be separate.
Yep.
Should be, because PTSD is a thing for people in those kind of situations.
Yeah. So
you need to be separated. But now, with this Equality Act that they are working on, it is, if a man says he's a woman, he can enter the battered women's shelter.
Yep.
Which, you know how easy that is? Hey, you want to come to the battered women's shelter?
Yeah, I'm a girl.
Simple as that. You just lie and say that you're.
But Jeremy, you have a full beard and you have a
you
deep,
can't help
resonating
it.
voice. Yeah,
well,
I'm
you
a
can't
beautiful
help.
woman.
Yeah, there's bearded ladies.
I want to offer a little extra piece to my story. You might say, Jeremy, you're going from, giving everybody equality to I go to prison if I don't have sex with an obvious man. Where do you get that from? I get that from because you give an inch and they take a mile. I get that from because that's not too far-fetched. I get that from because how far of a stretch it is to say it's discrimination to not believe in traditional marriage to, well, it's also discrimination that if there's actually women who will be out there. Now, these women are very upset. These are women who don't get a lot of men because, well, men don't like being shouted at and being told they're pieces of shit. They call it reverse R word. That if a woman asks a man if he would like to fornicate and the man says no, that is basically versus R-wording them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how far of a leap is it from that to say that it should be illegal to do that? So that being said, I'm a married man. If a woman asks me if I would like to go fornicate with them, I would politely say no, because I'm a married man and I'm not about that life. I have lived that life in my childhood, not myself personally, but my parents, and it was freaking horrible. So, yeah. But hang on, if I'm married, does that mean I just reversed R-worded them? The punishment for R-word is prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if, so what is the difference between that and a transgender person wanting to saying, hey baby, let me go bury my gray goose in your back garden, and you say no? Well, guess what? The police are on their way because you just performed discrimination.
Yep.
And also, for you women out there, you're not safe either.
No, because it's also allowing men to enter our bathrooms, our locker rooms, our sports teams, our everything. Just get rid of women permanently, basically, because, give up on everything, because...
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Let me put... Anyone who has little girls, little girls about the ages between 5 and, 18. I'm a bearded 22-year-old man. I could go into that locker room and I could watch them change. There is not a damn thing you can do about it because of the fact that I am, at the moment, a woman. But my gender changes throughout the day, you see. Because when I gotta go take a crap, I'm a woman. When I go to the doctor, I'm a man. It's a siren. It's probably just some fire call.
It's just a weird siren.
Yeah. The big issue is that people talk about the slippery slope. There is no slope. We're plummeting. The problem is, it's like, well, but Jeremy, that's a very small amount. You don't think that men are going to take advantage of the situation? How many guys in high school have been like, I've always wanted to see Jessica's boobies? Well, sonny boy, now you can with the power of saying that you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The hell are they going to say? It's discrimination. It's in the law.
Yep, and it's also going to make employers pay for abortions for their employees.
It's going to be real awkward if it's a priest and nun situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. It's kind of not the best thing. Also, they are planning to ban religious adoption centers.
Yep.
Like they already have done in 3 states. Did I tell you that part?
No, you didn't.
So, it's already banned in 3 states.
But you might say, but that's a good thing because the government is so good at running stuff like the VA. Yeah, you never hear veterans complain about the VA, do you? They love it.
Every day.
But Jeremy, you say, but why should religious groups be in charge of finding children homes? Let me offer you a counter question. Why are you against children getting homes? Who cares if it's a religious group or an atheist group? They're getting homes.
Exactly.
But they teach them about bad things like the Bible. Okay, yeah, but
that's another thing.
A home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you and I'm gonna play a left-sided card here. If you don't believe in Christian adoption centers, you like it when children are homeless and on the street doing drugs. You like children being in foster care, don't you? But the audience really likes me pointing my finger of accusation. No, the whole point of Christian groups is to say, hey, the more groups we have, the more resources we can get, the less children will be in foster care.
It's their way of preventing lesbian couples, gay couples from adopting, because...
Here's a novel idea. If you're a lesbian or gay couple, don't go through a Christian adoption center. There are a number of adoption centers you could go through. Stop trying to make an example out of one group and then start complaining because, well, there's no one I can't get a kid. Well, have you maybe tried not going through a Christian-run group? I hear that there's a few of them, and they don't care.
Yeah. Also, in that bill, the Equality Act, they are requiring Christian and Catholic and like all religious schools to teach gay marriage instead of only traditional, and to also teach that little girls can transition to little boys, and little boys can transition to being little girls.
Catholics won't have
and it's
it.
completely okay.
I don't.
And they're supposed to teach that.
I don't think the Catholics will. I honestly don't. Well, here's the thing, right? But they can't do that because of the separation of church and state. There is actually no law separating the church and the state.
Yeah, no, it was a letter
by Thomas Jefferson,
from
right? Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson to a Christian group that started that everybody says is in the Constitution. Well, read the Constitution, people. Come on, know what our rights are.
But the first
understand it. Come on, guys.
But the First Amendment does say that you have freedom of religion. That meaning I have a right, if I'm a pastor, to teach what I like. So it's actually kind of interesting because you can be a part of a religious movement if you have enough followers, right? Well, let's just take the Christian church. The Christian church should not be allowed to be governed by the government. Let me put it to you this way. In the Soviet Union, there was a thing called, they didn't want religious groups. So they got rid of them. I think you know how I mean they got rid of them. They didn't buy them ice cream and send them away. They used basically what amounted to the earlier version of one of these and later on one of these. So, but what about a more modern example? The Uyghurs in China. I think it's pronounced Uyghurs. You know the new movie Mulan? Yeah, they filmed that movie about a stone's throw away from a literal concentration camp. They call it.
You can see it in the background.
They call it a re-education center. That basically just means we're going to torture the shit out of you until you believe what we believe. They're coming, guys. Stay strapped. What are we even talking about? Oh, religious freedoms. Yeah, so, but the problem is, it's like, well, I'm not religious. What do I care? You want to get married, don't you? Yeah? Where are you going to get married? Well, probably a church. Won't happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen for you.
I'm glad we got married before all this stuff happened. Because...
Yeah. But also, here's the thing, though, too, right? You're not religious, but you have your beliefs, right? Everybody, every single person has. If you don't have beliefs, you're either a corpse or a vegetable. That's rude. I don't care. I don't care. So, everybody has beliefs. But, what if it's wrong think?
If it's wrong think, then you're gonna get shut down.
Yeah, that's the problem here, is because a lot of people like to see the Christians knocked down. And then the government comes calling saying, you're getting a little too big for your britches there with those beliefs that I don't really like. And you're like, but I don't believe that, I just don't believe that, you know, a 50-year-old man should be able to marry a 5-year-old girl. That's called pedosexuality, and it's very natural. Yeah, not really. A lot of people don't like those people. Most people don't like those people.
Get killed in prison, typically.
Actually, in prison, if you're a pedophile, the guards in the prison will not even allow people to know that because, yeah, they kill you. The guy 5 cells down who slaughtered his entire family and his extended family thinks you're scum if you're a pedophile, by the way. I'm not accusing anyone of it. Pedophiles in prison do not serve their sentences. They are commuted with a boot heel to the temple. Getting kind of off topic, but basically, the issue is today it's religious freedoms. Tomorrow it's freedom of speech. So,
well, today it's religious freedom and our right to have firearms.
The right to be equalized, basically. So let me put it this way. Let's say that you're at a restaurant, right? Just normal day. You're out with friends, whatever. You're eating you're eating Italian, right? And of course, your waiter or waitress, you can't really tell. So, and you're a polite young lad, so you say, "Thank you, sir." Turns out it's a woman. Congratulations, the police are on their way. You're going to prison for misgendering someone. Even though you can see them pitching a tent 2 inches from your face, and if you don't know what pitching a tent is, go ask your mother. And if you can see them pitching a tent, they have a full beard, more majestic than mine, and they have a lower voice than, who has a really low voice? Kaylee.
I don't know.
Joe Rogan, let's say. But they're a ma'am. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You are now in prison for saying the wrong thing. Don't think it could happen? Well, it can and it will, and it very much does happen to this very day. So what's the point of all this? How should we wrap this up in a nice little bow?
Basically, talk to your congressmen. Let them know how you stand on these things. They are there to represent you.
They're supposed to be
there. They're supposed to. But just let them know how you feel about these things. And we just wanted to keep you guys informed.
This video has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of crap going on. I think a lot of what I would say is this. You're going to hear things such as, common sense gun control. The Equality Act, making everyone equal. Instead of sitting there thinking, oh, that sounds great. We'll all be equal. You need to sit there and think. But what do they mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because, Auschwitz actually had, Arbeit or something, I don't speak German, but it said, work makes you free. Yeah, it makes you free from life, pretty much.
Because they literally would work people to death.
No, and also, you might get sent to the COVID war known as Happy Trail Sunshine, where we cure COVID with Zyklon B. It worked once. It'll work again. The point is, stay vigilant and realize the fact that although some things may sound nice, it's not that nice. Ladies, I don't think you want a 250-pound male to be shitting next to you in the stall next to you.
No, I don't want guys near me while I'm in the bathroom except for him.
I don't.
It's okay whenever, because we live together.
Mm-hmm.
We're married.
I don't think that you want Joe Schmo pitching a tent in the corner of the dressing room or the corner of the locker room while you're changing out of your sweaty gym clothes. I also don't think you want Joe Schmo taking a shower right next to you in the locker rooms. Guys, I don't think you want to go to jail because the non-passable transgender person wanted to put a gray goose in your back garden. I don't think you want to go to jail for that, and it's getting to the point where you most definitely will. Remember that most things aren't as they seem, and something sounding so innocuous as the Equality Act is probably not as good as you think it is. Always remember that if you have to choose between taking responsibility or giving up that responsibility to a power you cannot control, I would suggest taking personal responsibility. I would also suggest you go out, buy something like this, probably newer because this is old.
50s, right? 50s or 60s,
late
I believe.
50s, early 60s, I think. But also buy something like this. Again, newer, modernized.
We like our historical firearms in this house.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think some really dark days are coming. I think people have basically, you get what you pay for situation. There's a lot of stuff being passed that's going to screw up a lot of people's lives. And you know what? If you're sitting there thinking, good, I hope these people on this video are getting their life screwed up. I hope you go to prison because you guys just seem like racist, sexist, homophobe, white supremacist.
No, I have no problem with anybody in the world.
I have no problem with you doing what you want to do. Where I draw the line is when you say something along the lines of, I don't feel safe with you owning one of these, so we're going to have it taken away by the government. To which I would say, no. The problem is that if you're going to say that, then I can't help you. You know, at least, you know what, and a lot of people don't like hearing that dark days are coming. A lot of, you know, we have a pandemic that has a 99.9% survival rate, and people are treating it like it's the bubonic plague in, oh God, was that the 1400s? I don't even freaking remember.
I think it was the 1400s.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And you know what? I understand if you work in a COVID unit. I understand if you're sitting there saying, well, I've watched people die. I'm sorry. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers are, first of all, grossly exaggerated, and we're still at less than 0.01% kill rate. The flu, for perspective reasons, the flu kills more people than that. I can't give you an exact number.
And the flu has been kind of like wrapped up in with COVID this year.
Correct.
Like,
and yet
there hasn't really been Tamiflu prescribed or any of that kind of stuff. And I am in that field currently as a CNA med aid.
I want to put it this way as well. I don't remember the exact numbers on what the bubonic plague, how many people it killed.
It was in the millions.
I'm going to say it was probably around 2 million people.
It was a lot.
There was about 60 million people in the world at the time. Now, don't quote me on that. But if you're going to take COVID and compare it to a pandemic, or the Spanish flu, shall we say, the Spanish flu would have eaten COVID for breakfast and crapped it out before lunch.
Yeah.
Without a hiccup.
Yeah.
The bubonic plague would have looked at COVID and said, and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
The bubonic plague killed a pretty dang big percentage of the world's population. COVID's killed about what? I don't think it's breached 1 million yet.
In
and
America, it just breached 500,000.
There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. And yet, people are willing to say, well, but Daddy Government will take care of me. Daddy Government will take care of me. Daddy Government said it was going to be 2 weeks. We're going on a year. Daddy Government says right now that it's just, you can use whatever bathroom you want. You can be called whatever pronouns you want. Under threat of law, mind you. There is no law on the books that I cannot say to someone that they're a POS or to GFY. There's no law. That's not hate speech. I could call someone a motherless W word and that they are a bovine creature that should go fornicate themselves. Can't get in trouble for it. I could say
that now we're getting the thought police.
No, but the end of that thought is, but I can have a slip of the tongue and call someone who's obviously a male, but says they're female, sir, and then, you know what, I can go to jail for that one word. I can go to prison for that one word.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And also, you can't go in without wearing a mask. Under threat of law, mind you. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of people, if there's any comments, if most are going to comment that COVID is really dangerous if the video doesn't get taken down because of, saying certain words. Which is also against the First Amendment, mind you. I understand that companies have certain policies that protect them. But if I can't say a certain word, then what the hell are we even around for?
Uh-huh.
So, it's going to get to a point where you have no rights. You have rights. You have the Constitution. But no one's going to care about it.
Yeah. Because they're slowly being taken away.
It's not even slowly at this point.
Yeah.
It's basically...
They're going and hammering them out. Like, Biden's been president, just over a month now?
It's like day 37 or something. He's done so many executive orders.
He's done the most executive orders in the first week.
And people are saying, well, Trump did a lot more. Okay, well, let's extrapolate that date.
No.
For his 4 years. For his 4 years, they're saying Trump did the most out of many presidents, right? Let's extrapolate the data, shall we? The first less than 2 months, he's done a bunch of executive orders.
He's done the most ever.
He does not need Congress.
And that's the thing, he would not have a difficult time passing things right now because both the House and Senate are fully Democrat.
And let me, and like, you know, and we've been talking a while, and
I need to go to bed. I have clinicals in the morning.
The biggest issue I'm having is there are people who are so content saying, well, I don't need this. Why do you need that? You don't need this. I need this because history has taught me, if history's taught me one thing, is that you never, ever, 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 ever trust a government. You can be okay with the government. You don't have to be completely against them. But never, ever completely trust them. There are a lot of people who say this is the United States, it's not Soviet Union, it's not Imperial Japan, it's not 1940s Germany, it's the United States. Do you know what they called...
We're not above it happening here.
Do you know what they called 1940s Germany, Imperial Japan, and all those other nations, and the Soviet Union that did all those atrocities? They called them Germany, the Soviet Union, and Japan. You have to understand these people had no idea what was coming. And if they did, they obviously couldn't do anything about it. Instead of sitting there saying, you know, well, but that was another nation. You don't think it could happen here? You don't think one day the government's just going to say, hey, anyone who's, you know, who has these characteristics, you're going to this place. It's like the whole damn COVID vaccination card that everyone's so proud of.
Yep.
I will tell you one thing. There was another group that got papers. There was another group that was so special, they got a freaking armband. How cool is that? 6 million people, give or take some of the other groups that were targeted, died because they had those. Let me put it to you this way. Where are your papers is not a joke. Where are your papers is a statement of, are you valid? Right?
Because they are starting to roll out to travel, you have to be vaccinated.
Let me put it to you this way. The government is probably going to know if you're vaccinated or not. And everyone rushing to get the vaccination, let me remind you that we stated before that this is factual. You can look it up. And I honestly don't care if you're going to sit there and say that you are working tirelessly in a COVID ward, because statistically, that has been proven untrue. The fact of the matter is this: the COVID vaccine is about 97% effective.
94.
But 94. But people are saying, but it's not a vaccine. But they call it a vaccine. But it's not a vaccine. Nobody knows what it is.
It's mRNA.
Yeah. So, but the problem is your immune system is better at fighting it than the vaccine is. Why take it?
And also, it's under an emergency use authorization right now. So they cannot make it mandatory. If your work is requiring you to take it right now, you do not have to listen to them.
There's also reports that it's sterilizing people, and it's anecdotal evidence, but people have been getting it and saying that their arms are getting, they want to cut their arms off. It hurts so bad. Also, there's the whole thing about, I read that 9 nurses in Germany took the COVID shot, and 9 nurses in Germany then subsequently died, but it was completely unrelated, let me tell you. That's like saying, yes, officer, I hit the pedestrian with my car at 60 miles an hour in a 25, but I can assure you they were dead before I hit them.
Mm-hmm.
The heck?
Water.
Oh, Lord. Water I've ever heard.
I've been hearing it through the vent a lot.
Me too.
Hi, Elise.
Make no mistake, it's a separation, right? Even if it's not nefarious, it's a separation. If you get a COVID vaccination card, you are separated from others in the population. There's many examples, but there's not many more that are much more egregious that come to mind. Now, am I a conspiracy theorist? Well, let's just say that if you're not questioning everything you see at this point, that you might want to start.
No.
Everyone probably thinks I'm crazy.
No.
But I have a lot of stuff backed up by science. Well, not science, because science isn't safe, because according to many people, if science means that you can't question it. Science's actual purpose is to be questioned.
Yep.
That's like saying...
The scientific process, guys.
That's like saying, well, you need to trust the science on COVID. No, I don't, because the whole point of science is to be questioned.
Yep.
There are only a few scientific laws. Most
like
things...
there's only 2 genders.
Yeah, basically. That's not a law. It should be, because... Yeah. Also, before I go on, I want to offer a quandary for you, and I want to see if you want to comment. Also, if you guys start leaving mean comments, I'm just not going to read them. I won't answer anyone's comments. I don't really give a shit, because I have enough stress in my life. Without people calling me something like, really creative, like, you're a white racist. Oh, God, I've heard that one before. No one's ever said that to my face. I've heard it every day, though, that I'm a piece of shit because I have less melanin. And I was enslaved about the same time as our brethren with extra melanin. I want to offer a quandary because I'm actually curious. If there are no differences between men and women, why is there transgenderism? Am I stupid for asking that question?
No, I've wondered it too.
And let me extrapolate the question further. Let me explain it further. So, there are no, according to scientists, according to the science, there are no different biological differences between men and women. Sexual differences between men and women. This is not gender, this is biological differences. Because gender is a social construct, right? Gender and biology don't mix. So, but people are saying there's no biological, and if you do not think that that is the case, literally look up something along the lines of, be like, there are no differences between men and women. You will get lots of mainstream articles. It's not just like the ultra obscure opinion daily. It's the mainstream opinion. I know your phone's about to die.
Sorry.
But if there are no biological difference between men and women, Kaylee and I are apparently exactly the same, even though I have a beard, she has, different parts, and I have different parts.
And I can produce a child, and he can't.
Correct. Well,
and I bleed for a week every month, and he doesn't.
Thank God. Let me ask you this. If there's no biological differences, why is there transgenderism? Also, if there's no biological differences, why do we have a Women's Month and a Women's March? If there are no biological differences, why are little boys being transitioned to little girls and vice versa? Mind you, I personally think the whole matter is complete lunacy, especially with children. Your child is not old enough to decide. I will state that. If a child is 8 years old and you're pumping them full of chemicals, they are probably going to die one way or another. But there are no biological differences between men and women. So why does anyone need a transition? I'm actually very curious.
We'll see what our 2 subscribers have to say about that.
I'm guessing the comments are going to be full of vitriol and hatred.
Alright, with that, guys, we're going to go. I need to go to bed. I'm probably going to post this video first, though. But, yeah, I have to get up really early so I can get everything done. And
like I said, though, too, one of the big things we're missing in this society, and I'm about done, for the love of God, don't roll your eyes at me. One of the big things missing in this society is disagreeing and being polite about it. If you'd like to say something along the lines of, well, Jeremy, I personally believe in the confiscation of all firearms because of XYZ, even though you and your luscious beard provided all the evidence that should have turned me to the side of the light instead of the side of murdering millions of innocent people. Do so. Word it as such. Word it as, I disagree, and here is why, and we might be able to have a thoughtful discussion. I'd like to get to the point where I can interact with my community, or our community, if we ever get one. However, if I say something along the lines of, this is what I believe, and people say, you're a dumb POS and you should go kill yourself, I will say, well, maybe comments are getting turned off because I'm not going to put up with it. Believe me, I'm white, but I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I'm not even a homophobe. But I'm even a Christian and I'm not a homophobe. Funny how that works. I have my own opinions. So does everybody else. If you're going to comment, I again would say, Keep it civil. If you want to have a conversation, say, this is what I believe and here's why, and I can converse with you. See, the nice part is that you can get your point across a lot better if you're sitting there saying, here's what I personally believe, here's why I believe it, what do you think, as opposed to, you're dumb, you're POS, you're white, racist, you should die in fire because you... And that's exactly how most people read those. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. And also, I am actually working on getting up some gaming videos posted, but I am very slow at it because I am very, 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 very bad at Twitch. So,
and very judgmental of his own videos of himself.
Oh, I hate my
like
videos.
Literally, he made a video by himself and then refused to let me post it.
The one video's audio was terrible. But hey, guys, and also, you know what? You'll be getting hot takes from me from like history and stuff. Just realize that I'm not a radical person who's going to say, we should take on the government. But I'm also a person who says, I hope that a drastic change comes soon and that relief will happen from the lunacy we are facing. Mm-hmm. Be kind to one another. Don't be like us. Don't stay up till midnight when Kaylee has clinicals in 8 hours. I hate you and I'm not going to drive you tomorrow.
Yes, you will.
But,
especially since I have to get up at 6.
But stay safe out there. Write your congressman. Write your congresswoman. Let them know how you really feel. I find that using harsh words gets the point across better. That's sarcasm. It really doesn't. But, and I want to thank you guys for, if you've stuck with us for an hour and 15. So, 5%.
Yeah, my phone's never been this low.
It's limboing. But, hey guys, just thank you. If you've watched all the way through, leave a comment. Remember, be civil. And, let us know.
Please subscribe, because we have, 2 subscribers.
Subscribe, like the video. If you want to hit the notification bell, do so. I don't care. It's your life. Yeah. Live it. Love it.
You don't have to hit the notification bell.
Live your life, or I will find out where you live, drag you out of the chair, and I will drag you to a park, throw you there, cut your tires, and make you walk home. I'm kidding. Have a good one, guys.
No, he's joking. Go to bed. Don't stay up so late.